Hello everybody and welcome back to round number 18. I'm Philip Schulz and I'm here with Martin Wagner and
Hey,
we are bringing you what is probably a win-and-in situation for one of those players. At least we have James Neria, I don't know how to pronounce it, of course I don't know, but it's a player from the Philippines and he's rocking a 15-2 record with a new Dragapult VMAX. So I'm excited to see how
yes,
he managed to make this work.
super impressive. I think Dragapult has been not really underperforming. My personal expectations were set a little bit higher, but yeah, I would have expected to see it more. But it makes a lot of sense that the older decks are really tearing up the format right now with new additions. So um, yeah, really nice that we at least have one Dragapult in contention for top 8. Maybe more, I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, really, it's going to be really exciting to see this play out and see how this matchup will turn out and what the game will bring us.
Yeah, Dragapult VMAX, of course, pretty interesting deck. We don't see the greatest opening hand for James, but at least there's a quick ball. Oh, yeah, there's a quick ball. There's no supporter, unfortunately. So this quick ball probably has to find him like a Didenne to get
Yeah,
something going. But it looks like he's eyeing up the Dragapult V stat
I
value.
guess if you have to turn to attack, then it's not too bad, right? Because he has everything in hand that he needs for it. So, and he has quite a few outs in deck. And actually, we can see he's playing Giant Bombs, so I think that's a really good inclusion. A Giant Bomb makes a lot of sense in Dragapult for me, because you really struggle against those decks that just one-shot.
Yeah. Also, yeah. It can be a nice momentum swinger against those decks, and it will be interesting to see how well Dragapult fares against Baby Blacephalon. I think technically, if Dragapult sets up well, the matchup should be decent at least, because Baby Blacephalon, of course, is reliant on a lot of small Pokemon, and Dragapult with its attack is able to pick those off, getting rid of those support Pokemon, for example, and the Blacephalons, and of course. James is also playing the scoop up block mime, so he prevents.
Um, yeah, well done to the Dedenne finally drawing the Blown. And Heat Factory getting discarded, I guess. Oh no, was discarded, sorry. And there's an attachment to the Blacephalon. Just a pass, so one GX Pokemon down on the board already for the Baby Blacephalon player. It could be the opening. And a boss's order from the top
Yeah,
for James. That's huge.
and bringing up the Baby Blacephalon, valuing the knockout on that, and knowing that he can target down the Dedenne as well. Target down the Jirachi anyways with the bench snipe.
Yeah,
And
setting
here,
that up for the following turns really good. So that you can just clean it up later eventually if you're able to, if you are forced to hit into something else in the active. Oricorio coming down, so Kenny's looking to stabilize here, drawing extra cards with the Dance of Tribute's
yep,
ability.
interesting dynamic with the Oricorio will be that after this one use, it will probably be useless because James has this Mimikyu in his hand, so he can just put a damage counter on Oricorio, and then it won't be able to use its ability anymore. So
So
yeah,
yeah, the combination of Mimikyu and Dragapult once again coming in clutch. We saw it earlier a little bit, like yesterday.
yeah,
Um, it worked wonders versus Pikachu, but here as well, shutting off the Oricorio. Jake's Pokemon abilities are still really, really strong, and shutting them off whenever you like is really good. There's an Eldegoss, so that's an interesting inclusion in Baby Blaze. Playing that over the likes of a Victini V, for example, with just valuing the extra consistency from the discard pile. Yeah, Scoop Up Net getting rid of the damage on the Jirachi, so that's really important so you don't give your opponent a free knockout.
yep.
And an energy retrieval as well, so we will see how
Ooh.
much damage this Blacephalon
And
will be able to
oh,
put out.
yeah, that's basically everything that's probably everything that he needs for the knockout, and this is of course devastating. If James if James is left without anything on his board after this.
But he only grabbed one energy of the Fiery Flint.
Okay.
He only grabbed one energy, so let's see what the rest of his hand contains.
It's 6 cards, right? So it can't take a knockout. Okay.
Yeah, 300 damage, getting rid of all the cards in his hand.
And wow. What a swing. Now the Mimikyu, putting in amazing work, just shutting off that Oricorio, making sure that Kenny's left with no cards in his hand and no Oricorio ability. And also
Is this
being
Pokemon or what? Both players with 0 cards in hand. You don't see that often.
Yeah, that's nothing you see often.
And now Kenny's board has been wiped completely, and he's relying only on this top deck. And you know, with Welder decks, there's the issue that there's usually not a single card that you can top deck, but Jirachi is generally one of the better ones that you can hope for. Maybe trying to get a quick ball for the next turn. Maybe getting towards the Zacian. Scoop Up Net is also important, saving the Jirachi. Maybe just holding it, but yeah, there's no reason to hold it. Saving the Jirachi, putting it back into the hand. And yeah, Mimikyu coming in clutch once again, shutting off the Oricorio. Really, really good.
For sure. Only the mysterious treasure for James. So not much he can do for now, just picking up another support Pokemon.
Yeah, we see another Max Phantom coming out, taking the knockout on the Oricorio. Probably, putting damage now on this Jirachi, which will stick this time. And now, Kenny's... James is just, I think, a single boss order away from at least being very close to winning this game. You know, if you go for a boss order on the Eldegoss and then take out the Jirachi on the bench.
Yeah, of course.
And then you're just a single Galarian Zigzagoon drop away from winning.
Yeah, of course he also needs, and nothing for Kenny, just a Scoop Up Net, but it won't do anything. Because Mr. Mime blocks it.
Yeah,
and yeah.
We see it there. You can play the Scoop Up Net, but you can't scoop it up.
Actually, Kenny's, James' support Pokemon putting in huge work, and both players still with 0 hands. What is this?
Both players still at 0 cards. No one's gaining card advantage here. Yeah, no damage being put all over the board. Now that Eldegoss is in range, everything is in range of being KO'd by the 130 damage of the Dragapult. So whatever Kenny will send off will be knocked down, and James goes down to 1 prize remaining, and there's the Galarian Zigzagoon even off the prize cards.
So he's just drawing one support Pokemon after another. But going for the Dragapult early on instead of for the Denne, clearly showing, clearly paying off. Just that one attacker with that, with just a couple of support Pokemon was enough to win this game for James. And he will move on to a 16-2 record, probably locking himself up in a spot in the top 8. There are still 2 more rounds to go, so even if he loses both of those, he ends up with 16-4, which is at least on the bubble. So amazing score, and I am really glad that he is not playing any Crushing Hammers or Super Scoop Ups, because we've seen a lot of Dragapults, and most included a lot of RNG cards like Super Scoop Up and Crushing Hammer, and James instead going for a more consistent approach in not having flip RNG.
Yeah. Also putting all eggs in that Dragapult basket. Sometimes you just have to take those huge risks, and sometimes it pays off. I think there was also some unlucky price RNG for Kenny with some energies being in the price cards, because that Fiery Flint only grabbed 1 energy, and he was only 20 damage short of taking a KO here.
For sure. That would have been a big difference, for sure. And he also reacted with a sad face or happy face, but certainly there was a reaction from Kenny, so he did expect to have more fire energies there, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, however, sometimes that's just what you need, and with bold play of going for only Dragapult and
Really
hoping to
paying off in the
eventually.
very end, right? One
Yeah,
Dragapult was
yeah, he
enough
did.
to carry you over the
It's so
finish line.
interesting because he didn't draw out of it, but he always drew like one card that helped him again. Where he like drew the Mimikyu, he drew the Mr. Mime, and everything just ended up helping him a little
Yeah.
bit and pushing it over. To end up in a victory. So
you don't need draw supporters if you just draw the exact card you need off the top of the deck every single time. I guess.
yeah, I mean it's not
It
the
was
exact card
hilarious.
he would have loved, but it's just the minimum amount he needed to stay in the game. So yeah, I mean
Yeah.
I think it was a really cool game to watch. Unfortunate things happening on both sides, fortunate things happening on our winner's side. So it ended up in a deserved victory, I believe. And moving on to 16-2, I hope we will see some more Dragapult action because I do like this approach to it.
Yeah, me too.
And I like that. I genuinely like the card, so it's cool to see that it's performing well. And we will hopefully see it again in top 8. But first, we will go to a quick break and be back with the next round.
Make money
Be
today.
right back.